Okay, it's the second impulse of this particular turn. Now, there's quite a few cards dotted around that can generally mess up other players, so I'm going to be playing some of those, not necessarily because they are the optimum cards to play at this particular point, just to show you some of the effects that can have on other players' strategy. So I'll start off with, unfortunately I've got a cat here who wants some attention. You're just going to have to bear with her. Now, first player is a Malgro. Now, I'm trying to think. He's not got a brilliant set of cards, to be quite honest. He's got some good combat cards for against opposing units. So if anyone does try and mess with him combat-wise, probably be a mistake. And these are actually probably good enough to get me into a situation. I don't really think we should attack this empire. I'm a bit wary, but we could certainly have a go at this city, which is next to us. Right, what I'm going to do is try and use this betrayal card to get myself a decent set of Indian auxiliaries. Okay, we'll take a land move of 1 to make an attack on this independent city here. Now, city, it can bring in 2 Indian units, so we draw 2 units at random. We get a 12 and a 50. Oh, excellent. Okay. Now, first thing I'm going to do is play Betrayal, so I can designate 1 enemy unit to be held out of combat, and if all participating enemy units are eliminated or retreat, the held out unit joins your expedition. So I'm going to take this 50 character and hold him out of the battle, because we've managed to convince these guys that if they join us, they'll be a lot better off. Right, now let's have a look at other players here. Well, they've got Betrayal as well, Bizarro, but it can only be used where your expeditions are involved, which they're not. There's no combat cards here, so okay, what we'll do is, because we have got some horsemen, we can get the first roll when the Indians can't respond. Okay, so I've got a grand total of 6 infantry, 7, 8, 9 with artillery, 10, 17 strength points. I've got +1 to my die roll for my artillery, +2 for my Conquistador. So I've got a +3 and no morale effects. Okay, so I'm going to roll on the 16 factors and I get 7. So 7 on 16 +3, 1, 2, 3 gives me a 1 step of Indians destroyed, and because that unit has got a blank rear side, there isn't actually a second step. So we've defeated the Indians, and we gain this nice 50 unit as an Indian auxiliary to our okay, I haven't got any cards to enable me to activate my other Conquistador, so that's the end of Almagro's impulse. So we move over to Pizarro, who's the second player. Now Pizarro has got a couple of Indian uprisings. Now these can be used instead of moving an expedition to cause aggro. Right, let me think about this. Right, well we can certainly mess with Pizarro. So rather than move either of my Conquistadors, my Cordoba or Cortez, I'm going to play Indian Uprising against Pizarro in a city over here. So the the city becomes hostile. I just realised I didn't roll for Almagro's potential leader loss, so I'll roll for him. Oh, that isn't very good. Yeah, that's alright, no problem. Okay, so you're attacking Pizarro. Now Pizarro has got betrayal, hasn't he? Right, so Pizarro plays betrayal. Now you see, not being able to remember what everyone's cards was meant that could actually happen. If I'd actually remembered he'd got betrayal, I wouldn't have done this, because it's likely to give him a really good Indian auxiliary. So I draw 2 Indians against Pizarro. Oh, these are rubbish. Because they got betrayal, Pizarro puts the best unit on the betrayal card. Okay, now an Indian uprising, does that stop? I don't know, it's not an ambush. Just to check, I need to check to see whether the Spanish lose their horse advantage here. Okay, I've checked that, and no, they'd only lose the horse advantage if Indian ambush was applied against them, and it hasn't been. This is Indian uprising. Okay, so the first round of combat goes to Pizarro. He's got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 units, +1 for artillery. I'm not going to use Pizarro for combat. He's only got he's got a combat of 3. You might, we'll play him for combat, right? So he gets a 9. So he looks him on the 16 column. So yes, easy defeats that Indian. Okay, and he gets this Indian as an auxiliary. Okay, he throws for leader loss. 9. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Pizarro managed to get himself wounded in that stupid fight, so he can no longer use any of his bonuses this turn, and his counter gets turned over. Well, that's a bit silly, that turning the counter over. This is really hard to know where he is. I'll turn it upside down. Yeah, so then I can easily see that he can't use any of his stuff, and I can easily recognise where he is. Okay. Right, next turn is for the player who's third in initiative order, which is Bizarro, amazingly. Again, and as he said, he can't be used to provide his rally, combat or diplomacy bonuses for the rest of this turn. Okie doke. Now, I've got food. Now, what I haven't, I'm in a hostile town anyway, so, well, sorry, hostile city anyway, so sod it, I'm going to plunder the place and see what I can get in the way of gold. Now, I can't remember if I've plundered this place before. I don't think I have. I think I got that gold from a diplomacy thing. So, sorry, we'll plunder the place. So, let me check, see if anybody wants to intervene. Okay, yeah. Cortez has got a reaction card here that can be used against a plunder attempt. So this effectively must subtract 1 from the plunder die, and also subtract 1 from the die roll on the plunder exhaustion table. Okay, so we roll for plunder. He's against a city and he gets 2. Mine, let's see if I've got any bonuses. No, I've got nothing I can use as a bonus, so it's -1, so I get 2 gold. That is pathetic. And on the plunder exhaustion table, I roll 8, which is reduced to a 7, but it's a city, has no effect. Okay, so I'm going to have to mark it as being plundered once, but it's not plundered out, if you know what I mean. There's a little, there's a counter here which looks very much like the gold one. No, that's a gold roll, so that doesn't matter. Just a second, I'll check this. Okay, so I place a plunder attempts counter on this city. And that is it for Pizarro. Make sure I give him his 2 gold as well out of the gold tray. That's gold rolls. Gold. 2 gold, which goes into the pile of gold that the expedition has managed to accumulate. Next turn, well, it's not next turn, it's the impulse for the player with the 4th highest initiative roll, which is Balboa. Got a discovery bonus. Let's see where he is. He's actually on the coast here in a village. So I really want to move inland and make a discovery roll. Now I've actually got a card that gives me a +1 on my discovery roll. There's nobody else who wants to interfere with such a low level action as this. So I am going to roll for discovery, and brilliantly he gets a 1. A 1 for a town. Gives me mosquitoes. Oh no, because I've got my +1, I get a village. That's a lot better. Okay, that is the end of Impulse 2. So we move on to Impulse 3, but we've got a throw for a turn end here. So I throw my die. Oh, good. I threw a 3, which means the turn ends. Okay, we'll do another video for this. This is a few new things coming along.